Hello, world. Welcome to the Virgo Verdict. I am your host, one of your hosts, Tracy Ricks. I got another guy here. He's also a host. So we got something interesting. Oh, and by the way, his name is Sherrod. If y'all, this is your first time here.
It
So
don't matter.
we're gonna shake things up a little bit today. We got something interesting, trying to do something a little different. Today we're gonna play 20 questions with each other. So we have some real life scenarios. I'm gonna throw at him, and he's gonna ask me some questions, and then we're gonna give our verdicts on the questions, and then we're gonna talk about something else a little later because I need all of the ladies. I need y'all to weigh in. So okay, let's get started. So Sharad, I have a question for you.
Yes, ma'am.
Let's say you meet a young lady, and y'all, these questions, there's no rhyme or reason to the questions. They're all every question is different. So the first question is about superficiality. You meet a woman, she's beautiful. You start talking to her, y'all are talking for, I don't know, a couple months. Then she comes to your house and she comes to spend the night. Again, she's beautiful, she checks all the boxes. Um, and at nighttime, she takes all her teeth out. She doesn't have one tooth in her mouth. She's got upper and lower dentures. How do you respond to that?
You know what? Honest, to be totally honest with you, if I done
Mm-hmm.
fell for and we kicking it and I dig it, shit happens. Because
Mm-hmm.
I do know of a woman that has an issue where, and it's a family, I guess a hereditary thing, where their
Mm-hmm.
teeth actually do fall out,
Oh wow.
and or they decay or whatever happens, so they get them pulled. But you know what? You put them choppers back in or whatever, man.
So would you have an issue that she didn't tell you, or would you just roll with it? Like would you have a discussion with her about it? Like after you find out, after you see the dentures soaking in the denture solution? Would you be
Um,
upset or would you have an issue with the fact that she didn't tell you?
You know what I think off the rip though, we can kind of tell if a person's teeth is their own or not because I see all these big ass chompers and veneers these motherfuckers are getting.
Yes.
So I think we're educated enough to know that okay, those aren't real.
Would
And
you say something though? Would you be like, hey, is in your teeth?
no, I hit her up and be like, yo, are those permanent or do they come out or whatever, Because when they come out, that
That's
that that
bomb
that,
head.
that
I mean, that's a
hey,
benefit for you.
yeah.
So I had a friend that this happened to me though. So I had a friend, and Sharad, don't judge me, okay? So I
Shit.
met this guy.
Okay.
I was in my 20s, and he looked like the typical Detroit baller guy, okay?
Okay.
I like
Okay.
them. I like them kind of guys. Um, so we met at a friend's house, and he was totally enamored with me. So we
Okay.
exchanged phone numbers. He was cool. His grill, his teeth were messed up, right? And but I didn't really have an issue with that because he was cool. We would go out, we had fun. Like the guy was fun, okay? Um, and we had a very strong, like physical attraction to each other. First night we went to Belle Isle, we had a makeout session. It was awesome. We didn't have sex, but we had an awesome makeout session. The kind of makeout session that I have not had since. Okay, it was great. So we talked, and then I discovered that he got bad breath. Right now, I cannot fuck with a man with bad breath. Right. Initially, I didn't know that he had bad breath. I didn't because he always had a mint or some gum or something like that. So as we continued to talk, I discovered, this nigga I don't like. Motherfuckers with bad breath, bad hygiene. And I feel like handle that if you grown. Go to the dentist.
Right.
And he had a fucked up grill. Went to the dentist, and the dentist told him he had to get all his teeth snatched out. He did. He got the dentures. So the day he got the dentures, we go out on a date. Now he tells me the whole process. I know that he's getting the dentures, and he like, I got my chops. I need you to check them out. Mind you, me and him have fun all the time. So it was nothing for me to, know about the dentures because we would laugh about it.
Okay.
So we driving along, and I had some gum, and I was like, "Hey, you want some gum?" He was like, "Yes, I do." Give him the gum. Now he is driving. Sure, he over in the driver's seat having a real issue, right? And I noticed I can like feel his discomfort. So I say to him, "What's wrong?" He was like, "Man, you're gonna give me the laugh. I can't tell you." I was like, "Please do tell me." So apparently the gum had gotten wrapped around his dentures. And he was like, "I'm gonna have to take these out." Right. He had to take the dentures out while we driving, right? And he was like, "I don't want you to see me like this," because he kept his head turned. Y'all, I'm so sorry. I was like, "Come on, show me. Let me see." So he turns around and he flashes this big gum smile. All gum, Sherrod. And he's a bald head guy. He's older than me. He looked like an old baby. I swear to God. I could not,
Oh baby.
I could not compose myself. I gave him the laugh so alcohol. He was laughing too. So but it was just hilarious because he was over there struggling with this gum and these dentures. So for me, dentures are not a deal breaker, but you got to let me know about them shits. Don't surprise me with the dentures. Like, don't just be at the crib and I just see your dentures soaking in the dentures. So, like, for real. I mean, we in our 50s, Sherrod. It ain't
Right.
shit, but you surprise me with the shit is all
Right.
I'm saying.
I mean, we at the age now where shit gonna be breaking.
Yeah, shit gonna be breaking. I mean, I got a chip tooth, and I'm gonna keep my chip tooth. Fuck y'all. Shit. Okay, Sherrod, that's my question.
Okay.
What?
I've got this. I want to see if you agree or disagree with this woman's advice to other women.
Okay,
So each one of these is just advice. So you let me know your Virgo verdict on each one of them.
okay.
All right. Her first one is the first thing women need to do is stop thinking that you need a motherfucking man. And it's not saying what circumstances and nothing, it's just saying, I guess, period.
Sherrod. I don't know about these other bitches out here. Okay, but I know for me, for Tracy, Alleen, Ricks, Jones in parentheses, I need a man. Number one, I like having sex and I don't like doing it by myself. Okay. I mean, yeah, you get the kink, you can knock the kinks off, but it's not pleasurable for me. I like dick and a whole body. Okay.
All right, all right.
That's one thing. I like who I am when I am in the presence of a man. There is something, some a divine feminine thing that ignites when I am in the presence of a man, particularly a man who likes me and a man who I like. Something turns on. There's nothing I can do about it, but I love it.
Okay.
My whole woman self is activated in that moment. I am a different person. I'm a different Tracy. I'm still at the core me,
Mm-hmm.
but it's like when you make lemonade. There's water, there's lemons, and there's sugar, right? At the core, water is the main ingredient. It's still water, still there. But then there are other things that you add to it to make it this other thing. And then it's water on 1000. Now it's got lemon and it's got sugar. That's how I am when I am involved and when I'm around men. I am tastier. I am, sweet. I'm extra something. So for me, and I like men in my life because I want men to do all the man shit. And by man shit, I mean take my car to the shop. I hate going to the automobile shop as a woman and as a single woman. I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about or doing. These people there can tell me anything. If I go with a man, shit is different. And there's just certain things that as a woman I just don't want to do. And also I like being around fucking men. I like masculine energy. I like the divine masculine. I like looking, touching, feeling all of that with men. I don't know about these other women, but for me, yeah, I need a man. I
All
do.
right.
You'll never hear me say I don't need a man because I do. I do. So that's my verdict.
Aye.
Okay. Next question. Uh, okay. You you have a friend from high school. You have known this person, it's a man, for 30 plus years.
Okay.
Then in high school, he dated this woman, is this girl in high school. It was not a whirlwind romance. You know how high school relationships go,
Mm-hmm.
probably only lasted 2 months, but they were hot and heavy. You run into his old flame 30 years after you graduate from high school. You are still friends with this guy though. You and his old flame, y'all were cool in high school, so you exchange phone numbers and information. Y'all start talking, one thing leads to another. You eventually have sex with this person. Do you tell your friend? And additionally, you and her both know that this is not going to be anything serious. She tells you that she was always attracted to you. She had an attraction to you even in high school. But you both know that this is not going to be anything serious. And you even say to each other, such and such could never find out about this. The guy she used to date. What do you do?
Okay. Now, answering that question, um, now see, since you say it like that, if it was somebody that I knew that he really liked, because if we've been cool for 30 years, he's probably talked about her or whatever, and he was really into her. Now, under that circumstance of knowing that he was really into her, and he probably still got some type of feelings for her, I wouldn't touch her, to be totally honest with you. But in reality, I've had a situation. It wasn't 30 years later, but
Mhm.
I think we're a few years removed out of high school, uh, and
Like
we
when
sitting
you say a
around.
few years, what do you mean? Like
I'm gonna
five
say about.
years, 10 years?
I'm gonna say about 10 years out of high school.
Okay.
Yeah, about 10 years out of high school. So we start, we sitting around drinking and shit, talking shit like the fellas do, and we running back, little females we done hit or whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
And so we had a common name. Now, I didn't know that he was into her. And even at this point, he never said that he was into her, right?
Okay.
So our drunk asses, we call her up, right? So we kicking it. Yeah. We call her up. And I'm still under the impression that it was just on some player shit, that we was just, hey, we was just out there slanging and banging, right?
Right.
So she admits to him, that yeah, we was messing around, we did such such such. Then come to find out, years later, while me and him, because at first I thought we didn't really hang out as much because life just takes off and goes.
Yeah.
Come to find out, he was pissed that I had smashed, and that and he mad at her too.
So y'all haven't talked
Nah,
since?
hell nah.
Oh wow. So does that bother you? Like that you don't have this connection with your friend anymore?
Oh no, because see, if you know what I'm saying, because if you got mad at me over a female, bro, that you told me nothing about as far as your feelings, you know what
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying, then it's like, come on, bro, grow the fuck up. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Shit happens, you know, you know, things happen. You didn't
Right.
say, hey, that was who I was into, and this and that and the other. Because if it was like one of your children's mother or somebody that you was really digging, she's off limits. But if you
Right.
didn't say that, bruh, man, I really was digging her. I hope one day we get back together and shit like that. It's like, bruh,
Right. How would you know? Right.
yeah. So,
So do you remember them being together in high school?
no, I really don't. I really
Oh,
don't remember them like that. It's like, because back in high school, we was just all around.
right, right, right. So did you
you
and
know?
her did you and her ever like was it only brought up when you and your friend were drinking that day? Because did you and her talk about him ever?
No.
No. Oh, so yeah. I
Well, you
mean,
know
how would you
what? After she and I kind of, not kind of, after she and I messed around and whatever,
know?
because we was cool, and it was not
Mm-hmm.
like a relationship. We was cool. So she was
Right.
like, yeah, I dated such and such. I was like, oh, like, damn. But it wasn't like, but the way she said it, it was like, yeah, we fucked around.
Right.
Okay.
Oh, that's interesting.
I ain't
Okay.
think it was no love and, oh man, my heart is ripped out my chest because you smashed. I didn't think it
Right.
was going to be that type of deal.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
Number two, her advice is, now these are her exact words: go to the gym and unbig your damn back.
Well, I agree to a certain extent. Um, everybody in the world is not gonna look the same, Sherrod. Everybody just is not gonna. You're gonna have big, small, tall, short, whatever.
Right.
But if you yourself are unhealthy, then I think it's your responsibility to be healthy.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't like the way you look in certain clothes, then I feel like it's your responsibility to change it. If you take off your clothes and you look in the mirror and you don't like how you look and you feel like you're overweight,
Okay.
you have the ability to change it. Then yeah,
Right.
instead of complaining about it like, "Oh, I'm so fat," then do something about it. If you are unwilling to do something about it, shut the fuck up about it. Like for
Mm-hmm.
real. But if you feel like, first of all, if you would be healthier, if you would benefit from unbigging your back, unbig your fucking back. Go to the gym.
Mm-hmm.
Um, if you feel like your weight is stopping you from something, then by all means,
Right.
change it. Do something. You have the ability. If them ladies on my 1,000 pound life can change their lives, then you can too. Like
Right.
like for real. It's nothing hard. Additionally, like, we got all of these medicines out here. You can take an injection or whatever and lose all of this weight. I mean, that's great for people in extreme circumstances. But I feel like if you can get up every day, especially as we get older, you need to move. Like, you have to move. You have
Right.
to put your body in motion, especially if you want to look a certain way and feel a certain way as you get older. Like, I have to go to the gym. I'm not trying to be skinny, I'm just trying to be healthy.
Right.
So, and plus, I like food. I like to eat. So, I have to go to the gym or I would be 500 fucking pounds. Um, that's not to say like going to the gym and unbigging your back is totally for you though. It's totally subjective. Don't nobody else have shit to do with that but you. So
Right.
you have to decide what it is that you want for yourself. If you want to truly unbig your back, do it. Make a commitment to you and do it. Move.
I, I,
So
I
yeah.
I mean, I can agree with that. It's just, you know, it's like when you're truly trying to help somebody out, I don't think that's the motivation to do it. You know what I'm saying? Because not everybody's going to receive that type of criticism the same. You know, it's going to sound like an insult more so than you're actually trying to help me out.
Mm-hmm.
And like you said, I've seen women in the gym that are that have wider shoulders or whatever. Guess what?
Hmm.
You can't change that.
Yeah, you can.
You know what I'm saying? Now,
Yeah.
you can V it off or whatever, make it more muscular or whatever, but certain things you cannot change, you
Yeah.
know. And I think that people should learn to accept their limitations because sometimes
Because
you just have
first
physical
of all,
limitations.
yeah, you can't change your phenotype. You can't change how the fat and the muscles are placed on your frame. You just can't. Like, I would love, Sherrod, to go to the gym and make myself a bigger booty. I mean, I can plump it up. I can plump up my gluteus maximus a little bit, but I'm not gonna have a BBL from the gym. I mean, it's just my phenotype is not that. Thank God I got some hips though, like for real, because if I ain't have hips, it would be all bad for me. No, for real, Sherrod. But yeah, I agree with you. So
All
it's
right.
certain things that you're just not gonna be able to change in the gym, but if you want to be healthy and
Yeah.
you are getting up there in age, you got to move, walk. I mean, you could lose weight, Sherrod, just by walking every day, just by walking and drinking water. So, and you can eat your water too. That's a whole
And
other thing.
the last part of that is unbigging your back is not all you need to do because just going to a gym and saying unbig your back, it's about your diet too.
Yeah,
And you know what I'm saying?
absolutely.
If you're gonna give that advice, give it all. Give it all.
Yes, yes. Yeah, because you can't go to the gym and then leave from the gym and go to Wendy's and get a two 4 for 4s and a diet, whatever they serve. That's not gonna do it. Okay. Next question from me. You are a serial cheater, Sharad.
Okay.
You have a side piece. This your main side piece, okay? This the
Okay.
one that you spend money on and spend time with when you're not with your wife or your other side pieces. Like, she's second in command.
Okay.
Y'all go to a hotel. You're in the elevator, just, chopping it up, waiting to go to your weekly room. Next floor, the elevator door opens up and it's your wife with her side piece. What happens next?
No,
You freaking
I'm
serious?
tripping. No, I'm
Okay.
on some real shit. On some real shit. I'm out here down bad, doing dirty, and then they say what goes around comes around, and that's the one thing that's one of the things my old dude has always said. Don't ever do anything that you can't accept back, right? And
Mhm.
to be honest with you, if my side piece doesn't know who she is and he doesn't know who I am by face, I'm even act like I don't even know her. You know, we'll discuss it later. I ain't gonna fuck your night up because I don't want mine fucked up now.
Oh, wait a minute. Are you saying that if she doesn't know who your side piece is, you gonna just act like you in the elevator just at the
Yeah,
hotel by yourself?
trust me, I've had a situation where, you know, I've known that my main was stepping out, you know, and she knew of me stepping out, right?
Okay. I got all the
And
questions.
and any woman that I've ever dated can tell you, I don't lose my temper over shit like
Okay.
that ever.
So,
You see that
okay, so
hand? That's steady. That's that. That ain't shaking.
so your wife is stepping out, she got a side piece too. So, if y'all don't say anything to each other, would you say something to your wife? Would you speak? How would you
No, I'm gonna act
handle?
like I don't even know her. You know what I'm
You
saying?
gonna act like you don't know your wife and your side piece?
Oh no. I'm gonna act like I don't know my wife.
Okay.
Yeah, no. I'm gonna keep that shit like whatever. I ain't gonna. I'm not gonna make the evening that much more awkward, right?
Right.
So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna keep that shit
Okay.
pushing.
So what then? What if your wife says something to you?
She better not say something to me because you with somebody. Goddamn it, we gonna keep the game the game. We'll
Okay.
talk about the shit when we get back. So I'll see you
But
in the morning.
right. But because somebody that had to tell a lie,
Yeah.
in order to be at the hotel anyway. So somebody had to have told a lie. Either you told a lie or she told a lie, or both of y'all lied to each other.
Well, we both
Because,
lying.
yeah, because how are you both at the hotel spending the night? You
Right.
married and
So
you're not spending the night with your husband or your wife. Yeah, okay, that's interesting. I don't know how I would
yeah,
play that
I'm
situation.
seriously. I do not trip out over stuff like that. I mean my marriage. During my marriage, I understood and saw some things and realized the whole nine, and I never got mad about it. So it's like it was one of those things. I just woke up one day and was like, you know what? You doing your thing, I'm doing my thing. We should do our thing separately from one another. That's it.
Okay.
I'm gonna keep that shit smooth because I can't allow myself to lose control because you chose somebody else. I don't own you, and that's why I always think of women as people and not possessions. You made a choice. Now, if a nigga came and took my car and I found you, then I'ma handle you for taking my car. But my
Mhm.
woman chose to go with you.
Right. Okay. Yeah, I don't know
Yeah,
how I would respond in that situation. I don't because
well, y'all
yeah.
both cheating.
But see, I'm no cheater though, so I can't even imagine being in that situation because I can't because I feel like if I've gotten to the point where I'm cheating, our relationship is over. It is,
Yeah.
you
And,
know.
and that's
So
true, but in that scenario though,
in
y'all
that
both out
scenario,
doing y'all dirt.
if we both out doing our thing, I probably wouldn't say anything either. I'd be looking at the little things with the buttons, like, come on, get to the
Be like, this
room, can we
this next
please?
flow taking long as hell.
It's fuck. I'm getting off here because I would not want to be in the elevator with them. That can you imagine the level of discomfort for those few minutes it's gonna take to get to the floor? Like
Yeah.
I would definitely get
Hey,
off at the
what if y'all
floor.
getting up on the same floor?
I Yeah, I wouldn't even know what the fuck to do. I wouldn't.
All right, what we on? Number 3.
Yeah.
Her advice is focus on learning to love solitude.
Um, I can agree with that because we're going to spend most of the time that we have being alive with ourselves. Um, and if you cannot be in those liminal spaces, in those serene spaces by yourself, with yourself, then you are going to be one of those people perpetually looking for happiness and peace outside of you. Solitude allows you, first of all, to sit with yourself and learn who you are,
Right.
discover who you are. Solitude is where you connect with the creator and with spirit. Solitude is where you can hear downloads and messages from um, the divine being, whatever you call it, God, Allah, whatever. Solitude is where we connect with our spirit selves. So I totally 100% agree with her about loving solitude, because for me, that's where I get my instruction from. That's where I know or find out how to make my next move with whatever it is in this life.
Mm-hmm.
It's in those solitary moments that I get the information that I need um to proceed with
Right.
whatever task is at hand. So I absolutely agree with her. And plus, we have to learn to spend time with ourselves so we are not dependent on another person for our happiness, for our peace, for our joy, or whatever. Because I'm not going to always be with somebody. And like when I was with my fiance, we were together all the time. I mean, all the time. And there was never a moment where I did not want to be with him. Even when we were not getting along, I always wanted to be in his presence.
Okay.
So when he died, that was a shock for me to to no longer be surrounded by him, because we were, from the time that we met to the time that we died, we were together every single day, most of the time. So after his death, I remember sitting on my couch thinking, what the fuck do I do now? Like I had to um reacquaint myself with myself. And I needed that. I really did, because it came to the point where I had to say, okay, I'm no longer the girlfriend, I'm no longer the fiance, I'm no longer the caregiver. And I did not remember who I was before I was those things,
Okay.
because I had been those things for however long. So I had to reacquaint myself with myself. Like I had to discover who I am now, outside of him, outside of our friend groups, outside of, because we were a couple. Like you saw him, you saw me, and we had a friend group together. We had several friend groups together. So now it was just me. So I had to figure out what living was going to be like for me in solitude. And so it helped me grow. It really did. And I came to know who I am in this stage of my life. So yes, I absolutely 100% agree with that.
All right.
Okay, number 4. Um, your homeboy's girlfriend is pregnant. You and the girlfriend have a mutual friend. Her best friend is your homegirl. Your homegirl tells you that her best friend is pregnant by somebody who is not your homeboy. So, in essence, she tells you that the baby that the girl is carrying is not his. And she tells you, don't say anything. What do you do? But this is your homeboy for life. Like, you've known him since kindergarten. Y'all are very close. Y'all like brothers. What do you do?
Well, if we're like brothers, to be totally honest with you,
Mm-hmm.
I'm a pull his coattail and especially if I've seen the baby, I'm like, bro, you don't think you need to get a little test done? Because little dude don't look shit like you. I'm going to be upfront with him.
So, what if you find out this information before the baby is born, though? Like, it's still in gestation, it's still. So, would you wait? Would you hold on to the information until the baby's born? How would you handle that?
Well, see, I think I will hold on to the information because I don't want to be wrong.
Hmm.
So I would hold on to it. And if it ever came out and be like, dog, you knew? I'm like, well, first of all, you know how I am. I'm not coming to you without no proof. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? And now, at least if I see what the kid look like, I'll be like, bruh, you look like you was burnt on the charcoal grill, and this one like right damn near white. You know what I'm saying? And you got this big ass Eddie Murphy nose, and this got this little white dude nose. So I think you better go ahead and test that DNA. You know what I'm saying? That do not ask. You know what I'm saying? So,
Okay.
but if it's my man's and he like a brother to me, oh man, don't nothing trump that shit. I'm telling him, I'm like, yo man, go check that out, bro.
Okay. I don't know what I would do. I have no idea.
I, because
I
you
don't
said,
know
that's my
because,
homegirl, but that's my brother though. That's when
yeah.
he and I done probably been through some shit, and we done, so yeah.
Well, I actually had a situation very similar, except it was my best friend at the time was pregnant by my homeboy, knew each other from the neighborhood, but we were very close. I had no idea that she had tipped out on him. I had no
Mm,
idea. She didn't tell anybody. She was creeping with somebody while she was pregnant or before
okay.
she got pregnant. Um, so when the baby, now I didn't know when the baby was in her stomach, but when that baby came out, I knew exactly who the father was. I knew it wasn't my homeboy. I knew exactly. So at the time, I was dating my homeboy's god brother. During pillow talk one night, the god brother was like, Rodney don't think the baby is his. And I was like, shit, I don't either. And he was like, why do you say that? And I was like, because it doesn't look like him. And they both had said the baby didn't look nothing like him. And I was like, I know exactly who the baby looks like. He was like, you gonna tell him? I was like, shit, he already know. The baby
Mm,
looks nothing like him.
yeah.
He already knows. I don't need to add fuel to the fire.
Hmm.
He already knows. So yeah, he dipped. He was like, I'm out, peace. And she tried to um play like the baby was his. She was like gonna put him on child support, everything. She knew that the baby wasn't his. And I'm like, why the fuck would you do that? You know the baby is not his. Why don't you tell the baby's father that he has a baby out here? Instead of trying to force, but she was on some ego stuff. She really wanted to be with my homeboy. So I guess she thought the baby was gonna be the glue. No, that never works. Never.
Wow.
That never works. The baby is not gonna keep you in a relationship.
No.
Not at all.
All right. Number 4. Now I agree with this wholeheartedly. Get closer to your spirituality. I agree with
Yeah,
that.
I agree
That's
with that.
sound advice, especially, you know, coming from somebody like her.
But I mean, so we come here with a connection to spirit.
Hmm.
Some of us lose that connection along the way. We do. But I think settling into your spirituality helps you be grounded. Um it helps you to navigate life and all of the relationships that we will have in this life with a certain type of decorum.
Hmm.
Because what it boils down to is, you know, spirit for me is it doesn't have to do with anybody else, outside of myself.
Right.
But I need to be grounded. I need to be anchored in something. so that I can be a good person. So if I'm anchored in spirit, that means for me, I'm anchored in love, I'm anchored in peace, I'm anchored in intelligence. So that means if I'm anchored in those things, then I can have substantial relationships because these are the things that I bring to them: love, peace, and intelligence. If you are devoid of spirituality, what do you have? If you're devoid of spirituality, do you still have substance? For
Right.
me, the answer is no. Like, because how can you say that you are a good person if you don't have that connection? Because how do you know?
Mm-hmm.
Like, so yeah, I absolutely
Yeah.
agree with.
Yep.
Okay, you are at the crib. Your brother, who you're very close with, has keys to your house. 10 o'clock, and your brother's married. Okay, 10 o'clock at night, your brother comes over to your house with a woman who is not his wife slash your sister-in-law. He wants to use your house as the mosey wosey. He want a short stay. How do you respond to your brother?
Well, first of all, I'm gonna tell him don't get me caught up in no bullshit. Cause I don't want nobody coming here fucking up my crib or nothing like that. I don't want no drama, the whole 9 yards. You
Mm-hmm.
know, and I know people say you gotta talk to him and tell him not to do it and this and that and the other. But you gotta realize when a motherfucker grown, they got their mind made up, it's gonna happen, right? So my thing is, if you get caught, I don't call me to say, hey, lie and say you was here and there. Nope, nope, you got caught. You played the game and you lost. Don't put me in your shit. And I don't want her coming to me. Did you know this? I ain't know shit. Fuck that. No, I ain't know nothing. I wasn't home when it
Not
happened.
in it. Right. So maybe it's different for me because I'm a girl. I don't know. But my brother better not come to my house. First of all, do not come to my house at 10 o'clock at night with some broad that ain't your wife, thinking you about to smash in my motherfucking house. You're not doing that because it's my motherfucking house. This is my sanctuary. This is my peace. And I don't want shit like that going down up in here, first of all.
And let me ask you a
Secondly,
question.
yes,
Now, when you say he's coming to my house to smash, am I in a relationship?
let's say that you are. Would that
Now, if
make a
I'm in a
difference?
relationship, nah, bro, you get your shit on, dog. Fuck that.
So, are you saying you live with someone or are you just in a relationship?
Well, if I live with somebody.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
Yeah,
I'm meeting their asses at the porch or I'm escorting them
yeah.
out. Like, because my brother currently has keys to my house. I don't think he would ever do anything like that. But if he did, I guarantee he would never do it again because I'm meeting you at the door. You're first of all, where's the wife? I'm putting bro on blast because I'm always on the side of right.
Mm-hmm.
This shit ain't right, and you are not going to make me party to your infidelity. Additionally, if you want to cheat with this broad, you're going to have to spend some money because you can't come here. And what kind of broad are you? You gonna come let a nigga bring you to somebody's house who you don't know, and the first time you come to their house is to fuck on a spare mattress? Fuck no. I would be talking to her just like I'm talking to you. Like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Why would you allow him? You ain't never met me before in your life. Why would you allow him to bring you here to some strange house to have sex with you? Number one, he can't even take you to the fucking hotel. He gonna bring you somewhere for free?
He's being
Hell,
fiscally responsible.
fuck that. Fuck that. My brother better not ever do that because I'm gonna ruin his night. I am going to ruin his night. I'm meeting them at the door. Like, what the fuck are you doing? Who are you? Who is this, bro? Where's your wife? I'm putting it all out there. So in case, ma'am, you had no idea, I'm gonna give you one. And y'all can't come here because this is not the motel.
Mm-hmm.
So either bro gonna be mad at me, she's gonna be embarrassed, and if she's not embarrassed, you definitely can't sleep at my house. No fucking way. No way. No,
And
it's not
you
going.
gotta realize these conversations have already been had in the beginning. Like, you know, so there's no need. Like, if you bring her, like I said, okay, bro, you can bring her all you want to. You know, I ain't got shit to do with nothing you doing. You know, because to be totally honest with you, now me and the wife, his wife, we're cool, right? So I'm assuming we're cool. Because if we ain't cool, I really don't give a fuck, you know, whatever. Because I'm not one of those people that believe marriage is sacred. I don't care about marriage, right? I don't care about the shit. So my thing is this, though. If we've already talked and I told you about, you know, don't get me caught up on no bullshit. That's the furthest I'm going. And even if she called and say, hey, you know, your brother, I'm straight. I don't want none of y'all bullshit. I don't want none of y'all problems. I don't want nothing. I'm sure you know, I'm trying to, you know, I'm trying to navigate this world myself. You know, just don't get me caught up in y'all shit.
I agree.
Okay. Learn a new skill in tech and get rich as fuck. Now remember, this is her advice to women. And it goes all the way back to number one.
Okay. I'm not mad at that. I'm not
No.
mad at that. Tech is where it is right now. And, you know, people, you know, we spend our whole lives, people are touting, you know, go to college and do this and do that. And that, you know, they sold us a bullshit dream,
They
you
did.
know? So
Especially y'all teachers.
yes. And I believe that you should push to students and people how they can make a living, how they can survive out here making a living,
Right.
and how they can initiate or start to create generational wealth. Tech is where it is. I
Yep.
mean, it just is. That's the trajectory that our society is going on. Tech is where it is. So I 100% back this. I back getting women getting into coding because tech is a male dominated field. And if we want to get some of this knowledge and some of this money, because AI is where it is, coding is where it is, apps, all of gaming, all of that shit, that's where the money is. So yes, I would encourage women, especially women, to get involved in tech and to create technologically advanced applications that are beneficial for other women. So I agree. What you think?
No, I agree 1,000% because, you know, I love tech. I love computers. I love all shit gizmos. And for me, it's not that's not what I'll just tell a woman. I'm telling black men, black women, yo, get into tech because they can't discriminate on you because you actually don't even have to show your face on a lot of shit because you can create it, put it out, and do whatever. You know, if it's good, it's good. You know what I'm saying? I agree with, hey, make as much money as you can, but like I said, I know of her, and I know what the meaning behind this is, right? And my thing is this is I want women to have their own. I want young men to have their own. Then y'all come together, right? And y'all you do the damn thing. Because there's a, let me see, let me pull this up real quick because Denzel Washington had a little quote. I think he ran out of money or something like, oh, here it is. It said, after their first date, Denzel Washington ran out of money and Pauletta had to pay for the cab fare. Now it's their 38th anniversary, and they have a combined worth of 280 million. And young men nowadays better understand and realize that majority of these new thinking women are not going to wait until you get on. So she that's some good advice. Get into tech, whether you're a man or a woman. Get into tech, learn a new skill, whatever it is. Always make sure you're valuable in whatever arena you're in. Add value to yourself, make as much money as you can, and if you're able to be self-sufficient, you can take care of yourself, then you make yourself attractive to more people, to other people. So I agree with that 1,000%.
Okay. Um, my next question. On your 50th birthday, somebody gives you a DNA kit. You fill it out, send it in. 3 weeks later, your DNA comes back, and you discover the man that you thought was your father is not your father. How do you broach the subject with your mother? And neither of the man who you thought was your father and the man who is your biological father are no longer living.
Mm.
Do you broach the subject with your mother, or do you let it alone? And if you broach the subject with your mother, does that do you have resentment? Like how does that play out?
Well, first I will bring it to my mother's attention that I know that the dude that I was calling dad wasn't my father.
Mm-hmm.
And when it comes to subjects like this, I've heard too many men, you know, say, well, they make up excuses for their mother,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm a checker on it because for
Mm-hmm.
50 years I've led a lie, right? I think we've talked about this before. Tupac made a song based on a lie, Dear Mama. He thought the man, he was a coward. I couldn't have no love for the coward because the coward wasn't there. It was a lie. His mom had lied to him. Kirk Franklin, mom lied to him. There was another little young boy. He was an actor. He found out that his father wanted to be in his life, but his mother, So these things right here, we try to pretend like it's an anomaly, and it doesn't happen. It happens quite often, especially
Mm-hmm.
when 1/3 of all DNA says that the men that are accused of being the father are really not the father.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I'm gonna check my mom on it, and and it's like I'm gonna respect her. I'm gonna be respectable about it. You know what I'm saying? That's still moms, but I want to know what the fuck was you thinking? And who is my real father, right? And you said both of them are no longer here, so there's no way that I'll be able to have a relationship with this person that was my real father.
Mm-hmm.
But in no way changes the way I feel about the man who I thought was my father, because he died with that position and he'll remain in my heart with that position. But I'm not gonna hate my mom or nothing like that. I'll probably be upset, like, damn, that was really foul.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, you know, I can't take away from the man that was my father, that raised me. I can't take anything away from him.
Okay. So this whole scenario happened to me. And not only did it happen to me, so turned 50 years old for my 50th birthday, my sister gave me a DNA test.
Okay.
And she was, because, for years we laughed and joked about her not being our father's daughter. It was my father's mother initially didn't think that she was my father's daughter.
Okay.
So, it was a rumor in the family for years. So when she handed me the DNA test, she was like, so we can settle this once and for all. We can see if I'm related to y'all. So when the DNA test came back, it revealed that neither me nor my sister. So I got two other siblings. I got a sister and a brother. None of
Okay.
us have the same father. The DNA test revealed that my sister has a different father and that I have a different father, and that my brother's father is the man that we all had thought was our dad for our whole lives. So my mom had me when she was 30. She had an adulterous affair with my biological father. Now, the man who I thought was my father was also having an adulterous affair. He had several of them. My mother and my father were unhappily married for their entire
Okay.
marriage. My mother only married him to get away from my grandmother, and my father only married her because she was glamorous and beautiful. Their words, not mine. So I have met my biological father many, many times. I just did not know he was my biological father.
Mm.
So when we found out, me and my sister were doing this like whole investigative thing because we wanted to go to her with as much information as possible. So we were trying to investigate, but I guess one day my sister couldn't take it anymore. She just went over there and was kicking it with my mom, and it all came out.
Okay.
So then my mother called me, and I was at work, and she was like, I just got done talking to your sister. And I know that you all know that Bill is not your dad. And so then she proceeds to tell me what happened. She did not know. She was unsure. And back in the 70s, they didn't have DNA, they only had blood tests. So my biological father was married at the time. He had two children. His wife knew about the affair that he was having with my mother and found out that she was pregnant, and then proceeded to call the man that I believed was my father and tell him about this affair and that the baby wasn't his. He then was like, I don't give a fuck. Because he needed to still be married to my mom. So after he would not, my mom asked him to have take a blood test or whatever. He refused. Um, and then but neither one of them were in a position where he could leave his family and she could leave my dad.
Okay.
My so that was that. So, fast forward all of these years, you just forget about it, you bury it under the rug. But why I was not, my sister is more upset about the situation than I
Okay.
am. I am not upset because my mom had me when she was 30. I remember what it was like when I was 30. And I remember what relationships were like at 30 for me. I cannot imagine being in a relationship in a loveless marriage. I cannot imagine being in a loveless marriage and having to run, because this is the late 60s, early 70s. She had to get the fuck away from my grandmother because my grandmother was a trip. Um, my mother says that my granny was the lesser of two evils. So when I thought about this, I didn't want to judge my mother unfairly. So I had to consider all of the components in the situation so that I could understand my mother's position.
Okay.
And so when I understood what was happening, so I feel like the relationships that my mother had didn't have anything to do with me. It's not my business at all. Women have babies, women get pregnant, men have semen, women have eggs, they get together and they have a kid. I was just a consequence of her life at the moment. Whatever was happening in her life at the moment is not my business. Um, she had an affair. I came about. She didn't know what the fuck to do. And here we are 50 years later. Um, it's fucked up that I don't get to have a relationship with my father, but I can't blame my mother because he knew too that I could have been his daughter. Shit, he bought me a bike when I was 10. Nobody does that, if they don't think they your daddy. So I have more of an issue with him than I have with her because I feel like you knew and you also knew that my mother was in this situation. There were certain things that you could have done because you knew. Like my mama was still my mama. She still took care of me and did everything that she needed to do for me, in spite of not being sure of who my dad was. But I really believe that he knew that he was my father. And I just wish that he would have stepped up in some kind of way, even if he had to do it in secret, in stealth. I still wish that he had attempted some kind of connection with me at that point. But like I said, my mom said she was unsure. So I don't know the full story. I just know that I know what living was like for me at 30. And I cannot imagine being 30 years old, married to a man who I don't love and who doesn't love me, with 3 kids. And then what I'm going to do? So I'm going to leave my husband in the 70s with these 3 kids and do what though? So I get my mother's position. So I don't have any resentment for toward her at all. I think it's just sad though
Right.
that I didn't get to have a relationship with my dad. And because the man who raised me or helped raise me, I ain't like his ass. And I remember thinking many, many times, I wish I had a normal father because he was mentally ill. And I remember thinking, I wish my dad was normal. This motherfucker wasn't even my daddy. And so the
Mm.
issues that I have were that we had to endure life with a crazy person. And I got a whole other father over here. So it's less about her and more about the situation than anything. So yeah, it was a trip. But you know,
Okay.
it is what it is. And I never would have thought though that my mother would have 3 baby daddies. I mean, never. And had my sister not gotten that DNA kit, we would have never known. And I
Yeah.
remember, like, because my cousins all have half siblings. And I remember when we were little, like, thinking, I wonder what it's like to have a half sibling. Oh, bitch, you know. You got them right. You got them right now. So, yeah, those situations are a trip. And I cannot imagine. And my mother's, she doesn't have like many friends. She never had like, some women have friends around them and the kids call them all auntie this or auntie that.
Right.
My mother was never surrounded with people. She's a solitary person. So she didn't have nobody to talk to. She didn't have anybody to share her secrets with. So she was internalizing all of this stuff and going through all of this stuff. At 30, I can't imagine being in that position. So I have compassion, I would say, for my
Okay.
mother as a
Okay.
result of that. Oh yeah,
Wow.
that's my story, y'all. Yeah, it's a trip. It's true.
Okay.
Especially
Wow.
since I had met the man many, many times and did not know he was my daddy. That part, I'm like, you was a sneaky lady. Because you was bringing me around that man. Now, she never took my brother or sister around him.
But she took
Only
you.
me. So she knew. She knew. But that's neither here nor there. So, yeah. Okay, what you got for me?
Well, this is one I agree with also. Travel. Get
Oh,
out.
yes.
Get out. You know.
Yeah. Traveling is a must. And we can't say that we know things, and we can't say that we're educated, and we can't say that we're familiar if we don't see it in
Other
real
stuff.
life. You know, like it's one thing to read it in a book and look at it online, but it's a whole other thing to touch it and see it. And there are so many things in the world to see.
Yeah.
And when I think about the creator, I cannot even fathom the mind of God. So that means that I got to travel so that I can see it. I can see God's creation. Like everything here is put here for us to touch it and feel it and taste it and look at it and all that stuff. Why wouldn't we? Like, and travel helps you grow, it expands your
Yeah.
horizons, it introduces you to new cultures, new things, new people. Like, I encourage my students all the time, get your passports and go and see the world. It's a big, beautiful place. Y'all stuck in Inkster or Detroit? Inkster and Detroit are going to be here.
Yeah.
Go
And
see some.
likely the same as when you left. Because when I went to college, I went down there, and my first time coming back was Thanksgiving. Unfortunately, I came home and realized, the day I came home was my my mom's house had caught on fire. So I'm like, oh
Mm,
man, I'm just like, oh, what the fuck happened here? And
mm-hmm,
in the beginning, I thought my old dude had done it, right? Because they was
mm-hmm,
beefing.
mm-hmm,
I walked through the crib, and I'm just looking like, damn, devastated.
mm,
The whole first floor was devastated. And one of the homies was like, "Yeah, man, I had to crash through the window, man. He was telling me what all that he had done and whatnot. And this is just one of those things. Like, I came back, and Detroit was the same. Only thing different was my house had burned, burned up. I found my mom's eventually, but guess what? Detroit was the same motherfucker when I left at that time.
mm-hmm.
And the funny thing is when people ask me, if you could travel anywhere in the world, where would you want to go? And it's just like, I don't know. I offhand, I just, when you just ask me, where you want to go?
Yeah.
I don't know. Now, I would like to look at some places to go to, and after hearing what's going over in Ghana with the African American community that was destroyed, I was like, I don't know about this. See, I don't know about this Africa thing either, though.
Right.
So,
Yeah. It's
so
tricky. It is.
where are blacks or African Americans or whatever you want to call us? Where are we welcomed?
Yes. Where are we welcome? Um, because I saw a post recently. A lady did a reel about the 5 places that expats um visit or move to. One of them was Ghana. One was Panama. Um, One was, it was a list. I can't even. And oh, one was Mexico City. I was surprised by that, but
Yeah.
I want to go everywhere. I want to see it all. I don't know where I will land. I know I don't believe that I'm gonna stay in the United States. I might spend my later years somewhere else, but I gotta go visit first to see, you
Yeah.
know, where it is that I want to be. But I know I definitely want to go somewhere. I want to go somewhere where I can feel at home. Like, I don't feel at home in the United States. I'm just here.
I mean, you know what? Wherever I wind up, I want at least 1 to 3 acres, front,
Hmm.
back, side to side, apart from any people, right?
Yes.
I would love to. And then every time I'm driving to go to work,
Hmm.
and I'm seeing 80 acres for sale, 68, and it's like, man, I wonder, how much this all costs, because
Hmm.
I would love to have acres of land and just be away from people. To be totally honest
Yeah.
with you, totally off the grid, the whole 9 yards. And
Yes.
whether it be, like I said, I never thought about living outside the United States. That's bullshit. I never thought about that. I just know I
Hmm.
don't want to be on top of people
Hmm.
wherever I land, and you know, I just I want to be able to live the way that I want to live. You know,
I feel.
I don't want motherfuckers popping up on me and shit. I was in the neighborhood. No, you're not, cause I don't
No,
live
you not.
nowhere near you, motherfucker.
You came here on purpose. What do you want?
Right.
Okay, I got three other questions on my list.
Okay.
The next one is you meet a lady. Y'all have this very deep, intense physical connection. Go out on a date, park in front of her house, it gets hot and heavy, y'all get to making out, and you decide you're gonna perform cunnilingus on her. You're gonna, you know, eat her out. And it's great. She enjoyed it. Next day she calls you like, I gotta tell you something. And you're like, okay, do tell. She says, I have herpes. What do you do? Did you pick up your pistol? Y'all, I promise you, he might be a serial killer. I don't know. But does it go to that? Does it go to that extreme?
Man, that is wow. You know what? Wow. That's
And you like her. You respect her. Um, and she says she's very sincere when she calls, like, I didn't know how to tell you, but I can't continue on without letting you know. So, would you consider this deceptive? And
it would be because if she cared for me, she would have told me up front.
okay.
You know what I'm
So
saying?
if she had told you up front, what would your response have been?
I mean, you know that at that point now you can't have sex or all this other stuff, or you know, it probably would just have to be just a just a basic friendship, you know,
Mm.
because it's it's just one of those things where you know you got to protect yourself,
Hmm.
you know, and if she cared for me like she says she did, like she says she does, she'll want to protect me too, and she'll be
Hmm.
like, hey, because if it's vice versa, I would be expected to say, hey, you know what, before this jump off, I got X, Y, and Z, you
Hmm.
know, and hell, do you even say something before it even gets serious?
I think you should.
Yeah.
If you can look at the trajectory of your friendship, because that's
And
all it
see where it's
is
going?
in the beginning, and see where it's going, and know that it's going to get to that point at some point before it gets to that point. I feel like you have to say you should, because for me, shit like that, it's not a deal breaker for me. What's a deal breaker for me is the lie.
Okay.
Um, so even not saying for me is a lie. That's lying by omission. Um, so if somebody has something they can't get rid of, I just need you to tell me, and then we gonna have to alter how we deal with each other intimately.
Right.
Like, I, shit, we gonna have to use condoms all the time, everywhere. We're gonna have to put on a full bodysuit, latex bodysuit. I don't know how it works.
Right.
I don't know how that situation goes, but for me, it is not a deal breaker because nobody asks for that. And it's only not a deal breaker if I have become attached, or if I really like you, or if I feel like there's something serious going on here. Because if there's something serious going on and I let something like that, which is really not shit anyway, stop me from my happiness or what could be, then that would be fucked up too. So as long as you tell me the truth, we then can take precautions as a couple, and then we can go on about our merry way. But lying to me, being deceptive with regard to something like that, that's the worst part. Don't do that.
Right.
Cause I'm,
Right.
cause I'm not the person you gotta lie to. All you gotta do is tell me what the deal is so that I can make an intelligent choice. So that I can. So now you tell me. Now I have to say something to you so we can,
And you know
figure
what?
this.
and I think it's one of those things where you just really need to. Once you get to a point, I think if just say y'all both into each other the whole 9 yards, you gotta educate yourself on going for it. Instead of answering out of ignorance.
Mm-hmm.
Educate yourself on what is it,
Yes.
and and I think that's where you go from there. Because if you really into that person, and you're gonna talk, you gotta talk, you gotta communicate.
Yeah. And
It's
plus,
just
okay, sorry to cut you off. Go
you
ahead.
good.
At this stage of the game, like we 50,
Yeah.
people have lived whole lives before they meet us.
Yep.
And anything could have happened in that lifetime, you know? So I don't want to ever like
Or shun anybody.
hold, I don't want to shame anybody or hold anybody responsible for what has happened in their past. I could only hold you responsible for what is happening right now,
Right.
how we are interacting with each other. Um, yeah, so I mean, I get it. Shit
Yeah.
happens. Fucked up shit
That's why I say
happens.
I want to know how do it affects us now and going into the future. You know,
Yes.
so that's why I say we got to communicate. Then we got to educate ourselves on,
Yes.
what how we move forward with this. Is there's it, there's ways around everything, and the
Mhm.
best thing to do is talk about it, educate yourself on it, and then from there y'all make that choice. I mean, it
Yeah.
might be something that you could, hey, live with. It could, because that's a disease that's not always is dormant a lot of times.
Right.
You know,
Right.
so
But definitely don't let me suck your dick and then you tell me
yeah,
that
yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Don't let me do that. Like I need you to let me make me let allow me to make a choice.
right. Don't take my choice
But
from
yeah,
me.
I feel you.
Yeah. Um, like I said, some of the stuff, some of it is good, but you know, I just know where she's coming from with this stuff. So don't get me wrong. I agree with. I'm gonna say 90% of the stuff, but I know what her intentions are, right?
Okay.
And like this one right here is stop watching negativity, stop gossiping, and once a week, self care Sunday. I agree with that, and I know you do. I know you agree with and it's just one of those things, But her intention, I don't want to mention her name, but her intention is to oppress men and uplift women.
I just believe that women can be uplifted without the oppression of our
Right.
counter.
We supposed to uplift
Like,
everybody at the same time.
and people always want to do this comparison. It's divisive. You want to put men against women, women against men. We all need each other. We in this shit together. I'm telling you, I don't want to survive without a man. I don't. I really, really don't. I like men.
I can't
Um,
see myself hanging with just all dudes, you know,
if
and
you
it's
do,
like,
that mean you like dudes. Like,
right. It's like,
because I need I can't be with women all the time. First of all, I need to break up some of that fucking monotony, okay? And I'm one of those women that if I'm out with my homegirls, we, wrapping up the night, my man called, I'm leaving. Deuces. I am out.
yeah.
um,
I'm not hanging with the fellas all night long and be like, bro. Now, when we was younger, it was something different.
yeah, it's
It's like,
different when you're
hey
younger,
man, this
but
is. But nowadays,
at this
man,
stage of the
if
game, no.
if I say we going out and I make it home,
I'm
hey
not
man,
gonna.
I'm tired, bro. About to sit here and chill.
I'm staying with my baby. That's me, y'all. I'll catch
Right.
y'all next time. I'm staying with my love tonight. But yeah, I think that women can be uplifted without downgrading it and berating men. I believe in self-care, but I believe in self-care every day. And
Yeah.
and by self-care, I mean doing what you need to do to be healthy. Like that's self-care. That means not eating fast food every day. That
Mm-hmm.
means not engaging in negative interactions. That means not because I don't engage in gossip, none of that. Because if somebody comes to me with some gossip, I shut that shit down.
Yeah.
I don't
Because if you
like.
bringing it to me about them, you taking my
Then
shit to them
yeah,
about me. So
yeah,
nah.
yeah. So like, these are just standards that I have for my life. Period. I don't engage in any negativity at all. If it's negative, I don't want it. Like, period. How I am in my house is how I am everywhere. Um, I have the saying at school because I have a big art room, and my art room is like Las Vegas. Whatever happens in the art room stays in the art room. And by that I mean it is a safe space for you to let off whatever it is you need to let off, and it's not going to leave here. And another thing is all peace, all love, all the time. So it's in the art room, it's in my home, it's in my car, all peace, all love, all the time. So this is what I need for my life, for my happiness. This is what I need to do to navigate the world. I need all peace, all love, all the time. So I'm not engaging in no negativity. I'm shutting down. Like even in my classroom, it's teenagers. They love to talk shit about each other. I
Mm-hmm.
don't allow it. Like I wouldn't, and I tell them all the time, I'm not gonna let you sit here and talk about one of my students and they not here. Just like I wouldn't let them do that to you.
Right.
So I believe for your life, if you want a certain type of integrity for your life, then there are certain things that you cannot engage in. And for me, it's gossip. For me, it's negativity. For me, it's doing fuck shit to people. I can't. I
Mm-hmm.
cannot be around people who subscribe to that.
Right.
But I believe in self care every day. For me, self care is far more than getting a mani pedi.
And
Self
yeah,
care is
yeah.
sticking to your
Self
monthly
care is
budget.
mind, body, and soul.
Yes, yes, yes. Okay, I think this is the last one, Sherrod.
Okay.
You at work. You find $50 on the floor. It's the end. Let's say you work at the mall. It's the end of the day. You like, oh shit, thanks universe for the $50. Few minutes later, somebody comes in. You're about to close. It's a woman. She's got a kid. She like, I was in here earlier. I lost $50. It was two 20s and a five or whatever, however it was. You as Sherrod, how do you respond?
Oh no, I get that up. And hell, I might offer her more too. You know, she's struggling the whole nine, or it's just hey, because if that 50 was like going losing that, if that's gonna really cause her to panic or whatever,
Mhm.
she needs probably more than that. And how I feel about people, I help people all the time. It's like, hey, when I see them under the bridge, you know, my kids like, Dad, how do you know they ain't scamming you? Well, I don't know, but at the same time, I know what my intentions are. So when I
Mhm.
give you something, I give it, and you say, hey, I need food, I'm giving it thinking I'm giving you food. Hey, I'm trying to give me a place to stay for the night, I'm trying to collect money. My
Right.
intention is for you to spend it that way, but what you do with it is on you. So if she comes in, hey, I done found some money, and she says she lost some, it's yours by default, y'all. Here you go. It's your money, and are you sure are you good? You need any more money? I try to
Right.
help.
I'm taking that shit, Sherrod. I ain't giving her shit. No, I'm just, I'm just, I'm just playing. I am immediately, without hesitation, giving up that $50.
Right.
Immediately and without hesitation, because I cannot, in good conscience, know that because I didn't have the $50 before. You know what I
Right.
mean? So me giving it to the lady, even if it wasn't hers,
Mm-hmm.
me giving it to the lady is not going to harm me in any way. But I
Right.
know it's going to help her. So yeah, I know it's not mine. It wasn't my $50 to begin with. Yeah, I found it, and it, you know, could be mine right now because I found it, but if I were in that situation, yeah, I'm giving it up right
Yeah,
away.
I got to give it back. I got to.
Yeah.
My last one is her last one is learn to give everything you would give a man to yourself. It's called self-love for a reason.
Um, I agree, and I want to add to that. I agree with that. Um, so you know, I've been guilty of this. We talk about what we want in
Mm-hmm.
relationships, and we make these lists and we have these requirements, but I feel like if you want that, then you have to be that.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll read you something that I ran across the other day. It's if you spend your time chasing butterflies, they'll fly away. But if you spend your time making a beautiful garden, the butterflies will come to you. So, in essence, when you focus on improving yourself, everything you want will come to you. We attract based on who we are, not what we want. So I was watching a video the other day, and a man had gone to a therapist, and this was a relationship therapist. And so she had him write a list of all the things that he wanted in a woman, and then write a list of all the things that he thought he was, all of the good things that he thought he could bring to the woman.
Mm-hmm.
So his list for what he wanted was probably, he said, about 60 things on the list, and he had maybe 12 or 15 things on his. So
He had how many for her?
60, and he had about 15 for him.
Okay.
Um, so then he gave the list to the lady. Well, he read off the list to the lady, to the therapist. And she said, "Okay, great. Now you go and be that." And I agree. So, and I've done that too. I've made these lists of all the things that I want in a mate and a partner. But I came to realize, like, I can't then ask my partner or ask the universe to send me a partner with all of these things if I am not myself these things. So, how dare me require these things from another person if I myself am not these things? So, now I have changed from these requirements that I have for a mate, and now I'm making sure that I am those requirements, that I am living those things.
So,
And
like you're saying,
you
you're
know,
making sure you are the things you asked for.
yes. And I was so worried about, being in a relationship. Um, but now I concern myself with being the best me that I can be, so that
Yeah.
when I do get into a relationship, it will be good. Everything will be good. I cannot worry and I cannot create another human being. I can only be who I am. So if I'm making sure that I'm good, that I'm bringing peace, and that I'm bringing intelligence, and I'm bringing emotional maturity to the table, and I'm being resourceful, and I'm being generous, then I will attract that. So I'm tending to my own garden, and my butterflies will come. So I agree with that.
Okay. I mean, and then to piggyback off that real quick, it's just one of these things where you see men say, "I want a submissive wife," right?
Hmm.
I want her to submit. I want her to submit. In my mind, I wonder, do these same men say, "Hey, you know, I want her to submit, but I have to submit too," because she's going to require some things. In order
Yes,
for
we
her
all
to get
require
what she want out of me, I have to submit, right?
have to submit.
And And I wonder, do women that say, I'm not submitting to no man, do they understand what the power of submission holds?
No,
Because
they can't.
if I submit to you, guess what? I can take that shit back from you if I want to. You know,
Yeah.
look at a lioness. When lioness choose a king, if he does not live up to his role, they kill him or they exile him.
Mm-hmm.
It's the same with men and
Same.
women.
Yeah.
If I don't
Same.
live up to my role, all you gotta do is say, you know what, bruh? You got one of two options. You could either improve yourself
Or
or
deuces.
you can remove yourself.
Yes, absolutely.
You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. I feel that. I do. Cause I gotta get what I need from a relationship. I
Mm-hmm.
do. Cause what's the point? If
Yeah.
if we're not each receiving what we desire, receiving what we need from this, what is the fucking point? We do not
Right.
have to be. We don't.
We're just together just to say we have somebody at that point. You
And I
know.
never want to have that life. I never want to live that life. I'm not, I don't want a mate for the sake of having a mate.
Mm-hmm.
I could have a mate right now. I could make a phone call right now and not be single.
Right.
But it's quality for me over quantity. Like I don't
Yes.
need to be involved just because I want to be involved. I want certain things from this involvement. I do. And I want it to be real. And I want the truth. And I want it to be genuine. So until I get that, I'm just be out here dating, Sherrod. For
Yeah.
real.
That's your right.
Yeah. So y'all, this has been our form of 20 questions. If anything resonated with you today, if you have an opinion or if you want to add something to what we have done here, put it in the comments and
Or
let us know.
request that we talk about something.
Yes, yes, please, please. If you want to talk about something on a larger platform, let us know. We would be happy to do that.
Mm-hmm.
But in the meantime, stay blessed and we'll see you next time. Peace.
Peace.
Okay, so we did not get to the lady,
Mm-hmm.
to the wedding, but can we do that next time? Because I gotta
Yep.
go.
Yep.
Okay, so